Now, a portion of this video is sponsored by Storyblocks. If you want to know more about their awesome library of stock footage or audio, click the storyblocks.com/IndieMogul link in the description down below.
A rail, a couple of clamps, 2 C-stands, and you got yourself a hidden backlight.
Wall spreaders. I cannot emphasize how important they are. What's going on, Indie Mogulers? Today we're going to talk about probably the most common question that I get asked. What is the biggest lighting tip to actually upgrade my frames when I have a talking head? And number two, how do I actually hide that light when I'm actually trying to set it up? Number one, take a look at this frame real quick. This right here is Allie, our wonderful model for today. Now, Allie looks really good in this frame, obviously. Right now we have just one light in a softbox, and this is our key light. It's soft and it looks great. The problem in the frame is that on the left here, you can see that she's falling a little bit into the background. What we gotta do is we take a light, we put it right back here. I'm gonna power that on. I'm gonna aim it about 45 degrees, trying to hit her shoulder and her hair with it. Take a look at that frame right now. Automatically, so much better. The light pulls her hair a little bit out of the frame. On her shoulder, you can see it drapes out, and all of a sudden she looks way more three-dimensional. This is great and fantastic, but there's a problem here, and the problem here is this stand in the shot. For anyone doing 3-point lighting out there, you know the backlight is a problem. Or for 2-point lighting, where you have a key light and a backlight, you know that you've got the stand in the background. How do you get it out of the background of your frame? For this, I've got an absolute expert here. This right here is my friend Martine.
How's it going? Martine from Matthew Studio Equipment.
Absolutely. So this right here is Martine. Martine has honestly worked in grip and electric for some of the biggest movies out there.
Worked on Iron Man 2, The Amazing Spider-Man, Thor, a few seasons of Ballers, Curb Your Enthusiasm. I just got off of Picard, the new Star Trek.
So we have an absolute expert here to talk about a way to upgrade your lighting in your home studio. Now, before we jump into the 3 ways that Martine has to actually upgrade and actually hide that backlight, I want to talk about 2 ways that I hear about all the time. Number 1 is hide the stand using set dressing and deck. Got this cool blanket shawl. I'm gonna tuck it in here. Voila! That's good, right? That's pretty cool.
Well, you now have a blanket with C-stand legs. We can do better than that.
We can do better. Number 2, the biggest misconception that I hear is that you need set walls. So in a place like this, for instance, we actually do have set walls up here, and when we shoot our own things, a lot of the time we'll actually just rig lights over the walls and shoot back there. How many of us actually live in sets?
Good morning.
Morning. Good morning.
Oh, and in case I don't see you, good afternoon, good evening, and good night.
Yeah, no, that's a luxury.
3 ways to do this starting now. Ready?
We'll do it.
What is the first way that we can basically get that light up there?
It's called a math pole. It's made so that you can take a lighting grid, you can take it on location with you, get it up out of the frame, and be able to hang your equipment from it. You throw a clamp on it, your light is up and out of the way.
And basically, this is going to be a rod that goes up there, similar to like a shower curtain, right?
Completely.
So walk me through this real quick. So basically, we open this up, that loosens it, right?
You loosen this guy, and then this guy just starts to extend.
Then all you do is you rig it up.
You get it up. You guys can let us know, does that thing look level?
Yep, looks level.
All right, and now I'm gonna come out to the middle here, pushing against the wall pretty snug.
Yep.
This handle right here, you're gonna push it, and it's gonna push it out and engage itself into the walls, and you now have a small grid right here where you can rig your lights.
Film school students out there, wall spreaders. I cannot emphasize how important they are. The fact that you can bring a lighting grid to any location, to any office, to any set, and hide lights in the air, huge.
$150, guys.
Literally just me and Martine standing up, putting our arms up and putting it there without a ladder.
That's pretty awesome.
It's already out of the frame. I thought we were gonna have to get on a ladder or something. So to actually rig a light onto the actual polecat, how do we do that?
So we're gonna take this clamp right here. It's a Mathellini. It's super useful. This is a tool that will do many different jobs. The job it'll do today is mounting our backlight onto our math pole.
This right here, it's about $45.
Right here, boom. No tools needed. Right there, just use my hand. And now we're gonna take this guy.
Yep.
Make sure that the angle is where we want it. And now you have a stand to do other cool stuff.
Ah, clean frame. Yes. Good to go. So this right here, a thing that I think a lot of people don't know about, what is it?
It's a safety cable. So something that's very important when you're rigging anything overhead, it's gonna be over the crew, it's gonna be over your talent. You need to make sure that if anything gives way, it's not gonna come crashing down on somebody. It's exactly what it's made for. We're gonna put it through here. They come in many different sizes, many different types. This one will just go right back to itself. And now, this guy's safe.
Number 2, what's the best way to be able to hide that backlight?
A rail, a couple of clamps, 2 C-stands, you got yourself a goalpost and you got yourself a hidden backlight. We got a couple of rails. We could have brought a 10-foot rail, but not everyone can transport a 10-foot rail. So we got 5 feet. You get these things for 20 bucks. You got a couple of C-stands.
Rent C-stands normally for most places, they cost about $7 a day to rent. If you want to purchase these, they're about $100 to $150 a pop.
These are super mayfers. They're also called super clamps. You see the jaws, they're square. The pipe is square. Match made in heaven. We have here is a connector right here. You get this thing for around 25 bucks. It'll take your 2 5-foot rails and turn it into a 10-foot rail.
Finally, we've got, of course, our Mathellini or a Cardellini.
You want to make sure that you're at the middle of this connector. Measure out with your hand. See that if this goes halfway here, that's where I'm going to put my hand. So now I know that that's halfway there. And now you're going to put this guy in there, and now we have 10 foot worth of square stock. But you need to connect this to your C-stands. And now what you want to do, you just want to make sure that the direction that the load is going to go, that everything is on the right side. You put things on the right side, they tighten themselves. The big leg of your C-stand is pointed in the direction of the weight, and we're good to go.
So now this entire thing walks around.
And I'm going to come around this end here.
Taking this up and over. And just like where our polecat went.
Yeah, I'm going to throw this point on there so we can get our light where we want it. We're going to put it in the similar orientation as where we've had our backlight. We're nice and tight right there.
All right, so we're walking this one over. Now I'm going to rig this light onto the Cardellini clamp. Hey, have you done this before?
Trying to make it through this video, bro.
Yeah, sure.
Oh, you're not going to go too high up. We should be out of frame right there.
Light is now up. And there's nothing underneath as far as the stand goes. Okay, so we're gonna walk the whole goalpost a little bit to the left.
Luckily, we have 10 feet to play with. If I need to angle back this way, I can angle back that way. You can get it exactly where you need it.
We are clean. If we just rotate out that leg a little bit.
Sure, here we go.
That's good, done.
And one thing I do want to mention in this case that I always try to do every time I set up a stand is you want to put sandbags on the feet of your stand.
If you're putting any kind of stand up, make sure you actually sandbag that stand at the base on the tallest leg.
That weight is hanging. If the bag is on the ground, there's no gravity involved.
I want to give a quick shout out to our sponsor, Storyblocks. They have an absolutely awesome stock footage and audio library where you can go online, license, and download clips and footage from other filmmakers to use in your work. And they've got this membership where you can basically download as much footage as you want while you're on that subscription. In fact, just in case you missed it, we sat down with Darius Britt from D for Darius. We did an entire episode on how to practice filmmaking and how to make microfilms. We went ahead to see if we could actually make a microfilm using just Storyblocks stock footage, and yes, it is absolutely possible. They've got a ridiculously deep library of cinematic footage that can be colored or edited for whatever inserts and landscapes that you want to use them for. If you're interested in checking them out or actually just helping out to support the channel, make sure you head on over to the Storyblocks/IndieMogul link in the description down below. So for our third and final method to be able to hide that stand, what do we got here?
So we have a minimax. Normally you think of a tripod or a C-stand, and you think of putting the load directly over the legs. This allows you to have the legs in one place, and then boom your lamp, boom your flag, boom your microphone, whatever it is, away from where those legs are. This is the minimax.
Okay.
You're gonna loosen this little collar back here, and the legs will
immediately
drop right out. So the first thing you got is a stable base. You lock this guy, this arm, and it comes right out. When you want to get a little bit higher, you just loosen these T-handles,
and they both
and
go
the
up
entire
together.
thing goes up. One-man operation. I like to do everything in pairs. That's not always the case.
Yeah.
Sometimes you got a small crew. Everyone needs to get the job done. The coolest thing about this is that you yourself can get this going. The more you get your hands on your gear, the more you're gonna be able to do it all yourself.
Let's rig a light onto this and walk this in and see what this actually looks like in the shot.
If the bag is hanging, you know that the entire weight of the bag is pushing down on that leg. A lot of people like to put bags on top of the leg. I'm always afraid that it's gonna slide down. So it might be a little harder to thread it through, but if you put it on the cross member,
you know it's hanging, and you know it's
hanging,
gonna be here the
and
entire
it's not gonna go anywhere.
Taking off, this time we don't need the Cardellini at all, actually.
No, we don't need it. What we have at the end of the stand is a 5/8 baby pin.
And then I'm actually gonna use this just to tilt down.
So now that it's mounted up there, we're gonna power it up. And now if we wanna go up a little bit, loosen the back,
And then I'm gonna come over here and I'll just tweak it and done.
And there we go, we're good to go.
Pros and cons of the Minimax versus the goalpost and a polecat.
This is a more specific tool, whether it be a flag, a microphone. We've used them for set dressing.
This is really an indie priced kind of professional option that you can use. It's also the safest option out there too.
Definitely, you know, if you're weighted down below and you listen to, you know, if you're at full extension all the way out there, you can get a 20-pound unit safely over your talent.
So let's wrap this up a little bit. First, let's talk pros and cons of the polecat one more time. So pros and cons. Pro for me would be it's extremely lightweight.
Lightweight, it's affordable. It's the polecat is something that you're gonna need 2 people to get up.
Number 2, let's talk real quick about the goalpost. So pros.
You're using pieces of equipment that you have around for other stuff.
Cons for the goalpost. You have to shoot underneath it, of course.
So when you have that goalpost, you're giving yourself a limitation to your frame. Another thing about the goalpost is that there's 2 footprints. When you're on set, every square foot of floor space is important. It's valuable real estate.
Now finally moving on to our third and final option, we're talking about the minimax.
It's a safe, wonderful way to boom your equipment. Relatively portable, and it's one-man operation. If you want to be able to get out there, do your project, and not have to depend on a huge crew, this is something that you're really gonna value.
There you have it, guys. 3 super simple ways to be able to rig your light out of frame and make sure you don't see it. If you're looking at a 3-point lighting tutorial and you're confused because the stand is in the shot, you finally have 3 easy and kind of affordable ways to actually be able to hide that light in the shot. So Martine, if they have questions, where can they find you as well?
You don't need to call me if you're gonna just be interested in buying gear. Call me with your questions, email me.
Thanks so much for watching this episode, and of course, we'll catch you guys next time. Look, you gotta.
It's so cute. It looks like E.T.
He does look like
It really
E.T.
does.
More dresses than that.
Just put this in the back of every shot ever.
I'm scared though. People actually do this.